"These are the wedding dresses I picked that are the most suitable for you based on your body shape," the store manager said with a smile. "Wedding photo shoots are tiring, and trying on bridal dresses isn't easy either. They weigh a ton, and what's more when all our dresses are the real deal. However, that's just how weddings are. Weddings are supposed to be exhausting." Sophie could not help glancing at Isabel. "Is this going to leave me dead tired?" Unlike other ladies, she was not that interested in all the pretty wedding dresses. Enough with the complaining. Go and try them on. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Besides, don't you want to turn up in front of my uncle looking all beautiful? All right. I'll go. Two store assistants went into the changing room with Sophie. The wedding dresses were complicated to put on, and there was no way Sophie could get into them by herself. Meanwhile, Arias skipped work with Georgina after receiving the phone call. After all, Sophie's wedding was much more important than work. Upon arriving at the store, he gave the receptionist Tristan's name, and the receptionist led them in immediately. It was Georgina's first time at a place like that, so she was rather bewildered when she saw the sheer number of wedding dresses. "How much do these cost?" she asked. "Doing a wedding photo shoot here must cost a bomb." "Oh, do you like them? If you do, you should try some on later too." Arias slung an arm around her shoulder and walked in with her. "What are you hinting at? What's the matter? Don't tell me you were planning on taking me for a free ride. Are you not planning to get married to me? Or do you think I'm not good enough for you and want to reject me?" She nearly burst out laughing at his reaction. "Honestly, I don't know what you're thinking about. How could I possibly reject you? As long as you don't find me annoying, I'll definitely stay by your side. Rejecting him is something that'll never happen, okay?" After hearing her reply, he planted a loud kiss on her cheek. "Arias, what are you doing? Don't you know that's embarrassing?" Georgina asked, pinching his waist. The sound had been so loud that even Isabel raised her head to look at the pair. "Hey, can the two of you please consider my feelings? I'm all on my own here. Do you really think it's appropriate to smooch so loudly right in front of me?" Isabel remarked teasingly. "What's wrong? Feeling jealous, are we? If that's the case, you should find someone to kiss too. We've no objections to that," came Arias' response. He deliberately said that because he knew Felix was not in the country. "Humph. Just you wait. When what?" Here, Isabel stopped abruptly, unable to finish her sentence. "When Felix was around, he would never allow anyone to bully me. However, I can only face everything on my own not." Seeing Isabel's expression, Georgina gave Arias a push. "Go check on Mr. Tristan. He's alone. You should go and help him pick out a suit." "What's there to help over there? I want to see you try the dresses," Arias responded. "Tristan's figure and looks are better than mine. Anything he wears will look good on him, so he doesn't need my help." "Arias. Oh, all right. I'll go check on him and come back to see you later. Wait for me to pick some dresses for you, okay?" After he had finally left, Georgina and Isabel sat down together. "Are you okay?" As a doctor, Georgina could naturally tell Isabel did not seem well. "I'm fine. I had a fever last night, but I'm all better now," Isabel replied. There's really no hiding anything from someone who practices medicine. Meanwhile, Tristan had already come out of the changing room by the time Arias went over. "Aren't you supposed to be trying on suits?" "It's done." "That's perfect, then. I'm going to see Sophie try on dresses. There's nothing interesting to see here." Tristan also did not think there was anything fascinating about trying on suits and wanted to go and accompany Sophie. The groom's outfit always complements the bride's dress. So once she has picked her dress, what I wear will be decided. If you want to see someone trying on wedding dresses, you can watch your own girlfriend do that. Sophie is mine. What right do you have to look at her? Tristan had no wish for other guys to stare at Sophie. The two men went to where the ladies were, only to find that Sophie was still inside the changing room getting her veil done. Aureus walked over to Georgina and perched on the couch's armrest. Why hasn't she come out yet after so long? It's just a change of clothes. Trying on wedding dresses is a complicated process. They're difficult to wear. Then, there's also the makeup and the veil. Hence, it's no surprise that it takes a while. That's too troublesome, he said while hugging Georgina. Thank goodness she came along. Otherwise, I'd be bored out of my mind if I had to be here by myself. Just then, the two store assistants opened the door to the changing room, and Sophie slowly walked out. The moment she emerged, everyone gasped. Is she really the Sophie we know? The sight of Sophie in a wedding dress was breathtakingly beautiful. The dress suited her perfectly, and every detail was on point. She also had on some light makeup. Usually, Sophie did not bother with makeup. She would only do some basic skincare at most. However, with the makeup, she looked absolutely stunning. At that moment, Tristan only had eyes for Sophie. She was so beautiful that he nearly forgot to breathe. All his attention was on her and no one else. His burning gaze was so intense that it seemed capable of setting every inch of her skin on fire, and she could not help feeling a little awkward. Noticing that Tristan did not say anything for a long time, Isabel asked, "Uncle Tristan, why are you just spacing out? Doesn't Sophie look beautiful?" My wife has always been beautiful," he replied. "I've always known she's pretty. So pretty that anyone would be astounded. However, seeing her like this today, I finally understand what's the meaning of true unrivaled beauty. I'm going to browse the bridesmaid dresses with Georgina. Why don't you come with us, Aureus?" Isabel was used to being the third wheel. However, she suddenly became very sensible and realized she should give the couple some privacy. "Sure. Come on. Let's go over there and take a look," Georgina responded, pulling Aureus along. Once the others had left, Tristan and Sophie were the only ones in the changing room. He strode forward slowly. The wedding dress featured a narrow waistline that further enhanced her figure. "What's wrong? Why are you looking at me like that? I've never dressed up like this before. Do I look okay? Sophie, are you under some misconception about your looks? Don't you know you're incredibly stunning? I can wholeheartedly say you're the most beautiful bride in the world," he replied, gently circling an arm around her waist. "I can't help worrying whether this slender waist of hers will be able to take what's to come in our married life. It looks as though it'll break if I so much as exert a little too much force. So, are you satisfied with what you see?" Although she never cared about what others thought, what he thought mattered to her. "Of course, such a beautiful woman belongs to me alone. How could I not be satisfied?" In the next moment, Tristan planted a soft kiss on her lips. He could hardly contain his yearning for her. Sophie reciprocated his kiss. She loved him. In their love story, he would never be the lone protagonist, for their journey of love must be shared. Meanwhile, Georgina and Isabel were browsing several bridesmaid dresses. The quality of the dresses there was top-notch, as was everything else. "Which one do you think looks best?" Georgina asked Aureus, who stood beside her. "They all look pretty good. Why don't you try them on? You won't know if they fit until you wear them." "You're right. Let me try one," Georgina said. She had taken a particular liking to one of the dresses and was certain it would look great on her. Two shop assistants immediately brought her the dress and accompanied her to the changing room. "What about you? Aren't you going to try something on?" "I thought girls usually love this kind of thing," Aureus commented, raising a brow curiously. Isabel found a spot to sit down. "I had a fever yesterday, so I'm not feeling up to it today. As long as the dress looks good on Georgina, it should be fine on me as well." She was lazy to try on anything. After all, she had confidence in her figure. "Is it because of Felix? Did you fall ill because he left?" Aureus asked. "Aureus, what are you talking about? How does my falling sick have anything to do with Felix? We've broken up," Isabel retorted. So, didn't you fall sick because you broke up with him? You girls are always denying your own feelings. You clearly like him, yet you choose to break up with him. Such stubbornness is far from endearing. Aureus said. Isabel was rendered speechless. She felt like strangling the man before her. How could he be so insensitive? You. What's wrong? Am I not speaking the truth? Aureus didn't think he'd said anything wrong. Isabel was so exasperated she couldn't find the words to retort. Aureus, stop talking to me. I don't want to hear your voice. If you keep talking, I might just kill you. Aureus shrugged. Fine, if you don't like hearing the truth, I'll stop. He began flipping through wedding albums. This studio takes really good photos. Aureus was planning to have his and Georgina's wedding photos taken at this bridal studio in the future as well. Just then, Georgina emerged from the changing room. Her bridesmaid dress complemented Sophie's. This was the first time Georgina had dressed up so formally. Usually, she dressed casually and rarely bothered with makeup. Today, however, was her first time dressing up so elegantly. Aureus' gaze landed on her as soon as he looked up. While not as stunning as Sophie's wedding dress, Georgina's bridesmaid dress highlighted her best features. Georgina felt a bit nervous under Aureus' stare. What do you think? Does it look okay? Aureus walked over and took a photo of her with his phone. Where did this little fairy come from? You look amazing, Aureus remarked. Georgina blushed crimson. There are other people around. He's making me awkward by praising me like this. Isabel, what do you think? You'll be wearing this dress too. Do you have any suggestions? Georgina turned to ask Isabel. Sometimes, a boyfriend's judgment could be clouded, so Georgina reckoned that asking another girl for her opinion was better. It looks great, Georgina. Who knew you'd be such a knockout? Isabel teased. You usually look so plain, but this bridesmaid dress really brings out your charm and accentuates your curves. Isabel. She always says whatever comes to her mind. What? I'm merely stating the truth. The two of you are going to be so happy together. All right, I'm going to leave the two of you alone and check up on Sophie, Isabel added. She reckoned that Sophie must be trying on her second set of wedding dress by now. Okay. I'll come over once I change my clothes, Georgina said. Sophie was the star of today. Hence, they shouldn't waste too much time here. Just as Georgina was about to change out of her dress, Aureus wrapped his arms around her and refused to let her go. What are you doing? I need to go give Sophie some feedback. She's the main character today. Georgina scowled. She is the main character today, but you're the female lead of my life. I want to take another good look at you and admire your beauty, Aureus said. Georgina's smile deepened. She realized that she had gotten to know Aureus better after they got together and that he could be a really loving person. Meanwhile, with the help of the staff, Sophie had already changed into her second wedding dress, a blue one. The shade of blue was an incredibly enchanting color, and it made Sophie look like an enchantress. The dress fitted her like a glove, and she appeared captivating as always. Tristan took a few photos of her with his phone to help her choose later. This one looks really good too, Tristan sincerely said. His girl could pull off any style. Isabel, what do you think? Sophie asked. Isabel nodded in agreement. I'm serious, Sophie. If you joined the entertainment industry, those actresses wouldn't stand a chance, she added. Just with her looks alone, she could outshine any celebrity in the entertainment industry. I don't like the entertainment industry. I think my current life suits me best. Nothing else mattered as long as Sophie felt she was doing what was best for herself. That's right. I think you've made the right choice. Tristan echoed her words. She's so beautiful. If she joins the entertainment industry, I'll surely have many lose Rivoli. Tristan didn't want others to cover her beauty. After taking the photos, he proceeded to show them to Sophie as he said, "This one really suits you too." Sophie was already feeling exhausted after having only tried on 2 dresses. "I think whatever they pick suits me," so let's just go with this. I'm too lazy to try on more. Also, I think taking photos is really tiring. Let's just take a few. There's no need for so many, Sophie said. Who would look through their wedding photos for no reason anyway? We don't necessarily need to try on more wedding dresses, since you look stunning in anything you wear. But I believe it's worth taking more pictures. In the future, when we're old, these wedding photos will become cherished memories. We can flip through the photos and relive our wedding. Tristan responded. She's right. Taking wedding photos can be rather exhausting, but it's normal for one to feel tired when preparing for a wedding. Mr. Tristan, what about you? Any other themes that you'd like to try? They had already decided on the main, as well as the secondary wedding dress. What else could he possibly want? I'd like to have a set in retro style. You'd look elegant in one of those retro gowns, Tristan said. He recalled the last time she wore a retro gown, which truly took his breath away. Isabel immediately nodded and said, Absolutely. You have to try on a gown since you have such a great figure. It's a pity if you don't try on a retro gown. All right, then, Sophie relented. She didn't try on the rest of the dresses, though. After trying on 2 sets of dresses, they already had a good idea of her measurements. Hence, the bridal studio could already make the necessary alterations to the remaining dresses. After coming out of the bridal studio, the group of 5 stood in a line, all fairly worn out. How about we have dinner together? What would you all like to eat? Mark and the others are coming over later as well. Sunny insisted on coming over after finding out that Sophie was going to take wedding photos that day. He even said that he wanted to take a few pictures with Sophie. Should we go for barbecue or stir-fry dishes? Aureus asked. Maybe we should go for stir-fry. Georgina has been feeling under the weather lately. Barbecue might be a little too heavy for her. Isabel immediately suggested, Let's go to Blossom Garden, then. The food there tastes better. Georgina was truly blessed. Despite how unreliable Aureus seemed, he was unexpectedly dependable in a relationship. When Aureus arrived, Georgina naturally got into his car while Isabel entered Tristan's car. Sophie sat with Isabel in the back seat. Everyone had been cautious around her lately, but she was actually doing fine. After a while, Tristan's phone rang. He answered the call and put it on loudspeaker. Mr. Tristan, I heard that you guys went to try on the wedding outfits today. I wanted to join you for the wedding photo shoot, but it seems like I can't make it now. That's all right. It's just a photo shoot, but you must come back for the wedding. Of course. We're best buddies, so I'll do everything I can to go back to attend your wedding ceremony. Felix, I'm being serious here. Fandar is quite dangerous, so be more careful. Many armed forces had gathered at Fandar at that moment, and a war was imminent. Don't worry. I'll survive. By the way, how's Isabel? I heard she's sick. He actually made the phone call because he was concerned about Isabel, as there was no one around to care for her now that he was abroad. At the mention of her name, Isabel subconsciously clenched her fists. I can't believe this man. Is it really dangerous there? He went to Fandar because of me, right? She's a pampered young lady, so what could possibly happen to her? You don't need to worry about her. Just take care of yourself. Make sure you come back safely, got it? Mr. Tristan, don't say that Isabel is and always has been a kind and nice person. She's not spoiled at all. I can't believe you're still defending her at this point. Do you really love her that much? I do. I really love her. I love her to the core. He didn't know who he was uttering that last sentence to. Tears instantly welled up in Isabel's eyes. Felix is such a terrific man, but I'm not good enough for him. I don't deserve the kindness he's showing me. All right, I got to go now. Bertram and I have some matters to attend to. After we finish dealing with everything here, I'll go back. An armed conflict broke out there, so Felix and Bertram had to go and check out the situation. Isabel panicked after hearing the gunshots. It's genuinely hazardous there. Before Felix ended the call, I clearly heard gunshots. Uncle Tristan, is it perilous at Fandar? Why did you let Felix go if you know it's dangerous there? Can you ask him to come back, please? Uncle Tristan has so many subordinates, so why can't somebody else go? Why does it have to be Felix? Isabel, you've already broken up with him. It's not your place to worry about him anymore. Tristan ignored her request. Felix is already at Fandar. What's the point of her regretting now? Isabel turned to look at Sophie. Sophie, Fandar is so dangerous. Can Felix make it? Isabel knew Felix must be capable since he had served Tristan for so long. Otherwise, Tristan would have dismissed him early on. Nevertheless, after learning how fraught with danger Fandar was, she couldn't help but feel worried. Sophie put her arm around Isabel's shoulder, gently embracing her. Calm down. Isabel. Felix is highly competent. He'll be able to take care of everything there. Felix was naturally formidable. Tristan would never have agreed to let him go to Fandar if he wasn't capable enough to survive. Besides, he volunteered to go there. This matter has nothing to do with your Uncle Tristan. Sophie didn't want Isabel to misunderstand Tristan. How could he volunteer to go there? What if something bad really happens to him? Isabel didn't dare to imagine the consequences. She bit her lower lip, stopping herself from saying anything else. You should remember this lesson. Felix is genuinely fond of you, but you can't treat him poorly and take him for granted just because he likes you. Do you understand? Tristan couldn't stop himself from lecturing her. In his opinion, a man should indeed pamper a woman, but a woman shouldn't go too far as to be inconsiderate of that man's feelings. That's enough. She's already upset, so quit chiding her. What's the point of saying all these now? Tristan fell silent since Sophie had spoken up. When they reached Blossom Garden, Mark and Sunny were already there. The other 3 band members had something to do that day, so they didn't come. When Sunny noticed Isabel's reddened eyes, he immediately walked over and sat down beside her. What's the matter, Isabel? Did someone bully you? Let me know if someone did. I'll help you teach that person a lesson. Isabel merely shook her head. Are you really fine? But you look like you're on the verge of tears. Are you sure no one picked on you? There is. Uncle Tristan picked on me. Oh, so the culprit is Mr. Tristan. In that case, there's really nothing I can do to help you. You know how scary your uncle is. I'm no match for him. If the culprit had been somebody else, Sunny might have been able to stand up for her. Unfortunately, since that person was Tristan, Sunny could only mourn for her in silence. Isabel glared at him. Sunny, you're such a lousy senior. Is my uncle truly that fearsome? Of course. He's terrifying. He would glower at me whenever my eyes linger a few moments longer on Sophie. He's the incarnation of a devil. Sophie doesn't belong to him alone, so why can't others look at her? Everyone chatted with one another after ordering some food. Tristan poured Sophie a glass of warm water. Here. Have some warm water. It's been a long day. Trying on wedding dresses was a tiring feat. It was still rather exhausting, although they had others helping them out. Sophie held the glass and asked, "Can Felix resolve the problems on his own? If he can't, let's go over and help him." If something really happened to Felix, Isabel would be heartbroken. I don't want her to be sad. Nothing should go wrong since Bertram is there to assist him. Nevertheless, if he still hasn't sorted out the situation there after we finish taking the wedding photos, I'll go and take a look. Felix had been with him for so long, so Tristan figured Felix must be capable of taking care of those problems. All right then. You should stop criticizing Isabel. She's already in distress. Sophie fathomed a breakup wasn't necessarily one person's fault. Both parties must have made mistakes. Okay, I'll stop. Tristan heeded Sophie's words. By the way, now that Felix is not around and Isabel is one of the bridesmaids, we're still short of a best man. Although it wasn't the official wedding, The best men and bridesmaids were required to be present for the wedding photoshoot after all. The more, the merrier. Why don't we ask Charles to pair up with Isabel? No. Isabel immediately refused. What should we do then? Felix can't return to the country for now. Tristan glanced at her. Alternatively, you'll have to drop out of the photoshoot. Fine. Who wants to be paired up with Charles anyway? Isabel was against the idea of being paired with someone else, even if it was only temporary. Come on. Do you have to react so strongly? It's just a photoshoot. It's not like we're setting you up with him. Tristan stared at Isabel stonily. What's the point of throwing a hissy fit now that Felix is gone when you didn't cherish him in the first place? He added. Tristan. Sophie warned. Didn't I ask him to stop harping on this subject? Why won't he listen? Noticing the look Sophie was giving him, Tristan zipped up. Fine. I should listen to her. All right. Let's dig in. Mark, who was seated beside Isabel, patted her shoulder gently as consolation. Isabel remained silent the entire time and didn't utter a single word. Isabel, you should eat some. This fish is fresh and tastes pretty good. Sunny showed her some care upon noticing she was feeling down. Excuse me while I head to the washroom. Isabel got to her feet. She'd lost her appetite after knowing how dangerous Fandar was and worried about Felix constantly. Sophie hastily followed after Isabel. Tristan, too, lost his appetite after Sophie went after Isabel. He regretted reprimanding Isabel so harshly. Great. My wife's going to be mad at me now. Isabel was smoking in the bathroom when she caught sight of Sophie coming in after her. She quickly disposed of her cigarette as smoking didn't fit her image. Sophie washed her hands and stood next to Isabel, keeping her company. Isabel, Felix went to Fandar for work. It has nothing to do with you. It didn't make sense for Isabel to blame everything on herself. Imagine how exhausting and pointless it would be. Sophie, you don't have to say anything to make me feel better. I'm perfectly aware that I'm the reason he went there. He wouldn't have made the trip if she hadn't behaved so unreasonably. Isabel stepped close to Sophie and hugged her. She was feeling far too upset and anxious. I wish I could go and see him in Fandar, but I'd only end up being a burden instead of being of any help. I truly am such a worthless individual. How about this? If he still doesn't come back by the time my wedding photoshoot is over, I'll go with you to see him in Fandar. Are you serious? Of course. I hope you'd forgive Tristan for chiding you earlier. He only said such things because he treats Felix like his own brother. Has he forgotten that I'm his niece? He has gone too far. I know. I'll give him a piece of my mind later. Please do. Isabel felt much better at that. Come on, let's go back. We're in the middle of a meal. Okay. Everyone headed home separately after dinner. Sunny insisted on being included in the wedding photoshoot when Sophie and Tristan informed him and Mark of the date. Tristan and Sophie returned to their mansion after dropping Isabel back home. Do you have anything planned for tomorrow? Tristan asked while wrapping her in his embrace. I'll be paying a visit to the medical association after taking a few days off. Tanner Group is vying for a noteworthy case, and I intend to supervise the proceedings. Though Victor was capable enough for the job, she still needed to be present this round for a case of such utmost importance. Okay then. I thought you had some free time tomorrow. Tristan wished to spend more time with her. He was thinking of going on a date or to the movies with her like other ordinary couples usually did. What about you? Do you have anything planned? She didn't seem to recall having any activities planned with him the next day. Besides, it was still several days before their wedding photoshoot. No. He was merely bored and wished to bring her to the movies to watch a new show that was just released. There's going to be a movie screening tomorrow night starring Cecilia. Why don't we watch it after work? Sure. Whoever was the main lead in the movie didn't matter to Tristan as long as Sophie was with him. Besides, Cecilia was a pretty decent actor. I couldn't make it to the premiere of Cecilia's new movie. We should show our support tomorrow by booking the entire theater. Will do. Tristan knew how close Sophie and Cecilia were. Now that Cecilia was at TS, she had access to the best resources imaginable. Her latest release was a literary movie. The movie's rating was high, but it wasn't doing particularly well at the box office due to its genre. I suppose Cecilia must be feeling rather frustrated. Literary films typically aren't as highly grossing as commercial films. She won't have any complaints as long as it's my decision. Since she's a newly crowned star actress, I'm confident she'll win an award with this movie. Moreover, it's certainly going to be a prestigious international award. You sure sound confident. Novel drama. But of course. I adore this movie's screenwriter. She had been in awe the moment she read the script. If I recall correctly, isn't the screenwriter a guy? Fond of him, are you? Don't tell me you're being jealous. I admit having taken a liking to him because of his talent and intend to continue collaborating with him. She did in fact think highly of gifted screenwriters. I don't like it when you pay attention to other men, even if what you feel for them is just plain admiration. Tristan, you have to believe that I love you the most. What I feel for everyone else is at most admiration, that's all. By the way, are you seriously letting Mark join our wedding photo shoot? Asked Tristan. Everyone knows he has feelings for Sophie. Wouldn't it seem odd to let him join? Mark treats me well. I don't see any issue with him and Sunny being part of our wedding photo shoot. What's wrong? I'll tell Mark not to come over if you feel uncomfortable about it. Never mind. I'll just think of him as your brother. I acknowledge they have always been nice to you and did play an integral role in your life before we met. It's just a wedding photo shoot, so it's not a big deal. Sophie hugged him even tighter. Tristan, I've always known you're a magnanimous person who wouldn't take such a trivial matter to heart. A wedding photo shoot would be so boring with just the two of them. The presence of friends and family would make it much more meaningful. Your praise is music to my ears. Tristan relented only because he understood the importance of Mark and the others to Sophie. It had been some time since Sophie last set foot in Tanner Group. Nevertheless, Victor still reported all of the organization's happenings to her. Everyone treated Sophie like a deity of fortune ever since the incident with the year-end bonus. The employees at the headquarters beamed brightly when they saw her and greeted her politely. She headed straight to Victor's office to prevent causing an even bigger commotion amongst the staff. Victor knew about her arrival and wanted to head downstairs to escort her, but she'd refused. Welcome, Ms. Sophie. The secretary hurriedly opened the door of the general manager's office upon seeing Sophie enter. Victor had been focusing all his attention on Tanner Group recently. He dedicated his heart and soul to it and was convinced that Tanner Group was more important than his family business. After the secretary led Sophie into the room, he immediately went to pour her a glass of freshly squeezed juice. Ms. Sophie, have some of your favorite strawberry juice. I just bought the strawberries a while ago. They're fresh. Knowing Sophie would be dropping by, he specially made a trip to the supermarket to buy large, beautiful strawberries. However, the reddish strawberry juice didn't seem too appetizing for Sophie. Thanks. Why do I feel like the secretary is particularly enthusiastic this time around? Once the secretary left, she asked Victor. What's up with him? Isn't he being a tad bit enthusiastic? It's because of last year's high bonus, obviously, Victor answered. Every employee in Tanner Group had turned into Sophie's fan. Oh, Sophie uttered. Ms. Sophie, you made the right choice. All of our employees are working as one entity. They're all doing their best to solve all kinds of problems together. Such a united company would succeed in any endeavor. I heard you guys ran into some trouble with the recent project, so I dropped by to check. Has the issue been resolved? The project was significant to Tanner Group. If it took off, the company would achieve tremendous success and be propelled to greater heights. That was why Sophie took time out of her busy schedule to drop by the office. Ms. Sophic, please rest assured that although the issue isn't resolved yet, I will handle it perfectly. He was confident in his capabilities. Brief me on the details. If we can solve it in a shorter time, why don't we give it a try? The crux of the issue lies in Mr. Hine of Maxwell Corporation. He refused to sign the agreement no matter how I tried to persuade him. I invited him for dinner tonight, so don't worry. I'll surely get his signature this time. Everyone in Jipsdale knew how difficult of a person Terence was. However, Victor was determined to get Terence's signature regardless of how challenging it was going to be. The dinner is tonight, right? I'll go with you. Let's settle this issue first since we already have dinner plans with the other party. Do you not trust me, Ms. Sophie? I can solve this issue, said Victor with concern. Ms. Sophie is still a woman, after all. With how pretty she is, she shouldn't attend such an occasion. What's wrong? Is there a problem with Mr. Hine? She never paid much attention to the ongoings within the industry, so she wasn't aware of the issue with Terence. Mr. Hine is a promiscuous man. Plus, you're good-looking, so I don't think you should go. Is there a problem with our project? That was her main concern. If there was no issue with the project, she was determined to make Terence sign the agreement that night. Ms. Sophie, I'm monitoring the progress of this project personally. You already went through the details of the project several times, so you know there isn't a problem at all. So Mr. Hine is deliberately giving us a hard time. Got it. I'll be going with you for dinner tonight. Tanner Group is developing well each day, but it's still lacking compared to other companies in a city like Jipsdale. Most of the time, many corporations refuse to give us a chance and collaborate with us. Are you really coming, Ms. Sophie? That man is a pervert. I'm worried about you. Victor regarded Sophie as his younger sister, so the last thing he wanted was for her to mingle with such an unpleasant man. Tanner Group belongs to the Tanner family, so how can I stand on the sidelines and watch when the company is facing difficulties? She wasn't the kind of person who would let her subordinates do all the dirty work. All right. I understand. Victor was determined to be present for the dinner that night. Terence would never get to touch even a hair on Sophie's head as long as Victor was around. Tristan had been waiting to get off work for his movie date with Sophie. He even went back home to change into a more suitable attire for the date during his lunch break. However, when it was nearly time to get off work, he got a phone call from Sophie. I have plans tonight, so I can't go to the movies with you. Why don't you head home first? Guilt flooded Sophie as she knew they had already agreed on spending time together that evening. She felt bad about standing him up at the very last minute. Tristan had been looking forward to the movie date the entire day. He didn't expect to be stood up at the last minute. What's happened? Did something urgent happen at Tanner Group? She went to Tanner Group in the morning and didn't return in the afternoon, so something must have happened there. We're facing some issues with the recent project. I'm going to handle it tonight. Grandpa cares about Tanner Group a lot, so I can't just ignore the company's issues no matter how busy I am. There's nothing much going on with the medical association anyway, so I'm planning to concentrate all my attention on Tanner Group in the meantime. It's time for the company to advance to the next level. How else are we going to be on the same level as Lombard Group? I know about the project your company is handling right now. Mr. Hine refuses to sign the agreement, right? I can settle that with a phone call, Tristan uttered. That's not a big deal. I can deal with Mr. Hine. That won't be necessary. This is Tanner Group's affair. I can deal with it just fine. You don't have to get involved. She wanted to lead the company to its peak relying on her own efforts, so she didn't want Tristan to get involved. I'm upset, Sophie. Do you know that? I'm your backer, so you can always depend on me. Why are you refusing to accept my help? The issue would be resolved as soon as he made the call. I know how great you are, but I don't want to depend on you. At the end of the day, I still have to learn and grow up on my own, don't you think? Defeat washed over Tristan. Why am I such a failure? My own girlfriend doesn't want to depend on me. Am I a terrible boyfriend? Do I not give her a sense of security? There. Please don't be mad. I don't mean anything by it. I just think I can resolve the problem by myself. I don't know how to rely on others. I love solving everything within my power and enjoying the sense of gratification and accomplishment I get upon succeeding. Okay, I understand. Mr. Hine is a lustful man though, so be careful. Knowing how capable Sophie was, Tristan wasn't too worried about her, but that didn't mean he was comfortable with the situation. When Charles dropped by and saw the dark look on Tristan's face, he questioned the man and finally found out that Sophie would be going to meet the infamous Terence Hine for dinner. Mr. Hine is a salacious man, and Sophie is a beautiful woman. Are you not worried about her? What do you think Mr. Hine can do to her? I wanted to solve the issue for her, but she refused, so there's nothing I can do about it. In fact, he was aware that with Sophie's capabilities, Terence wouldn't stand a chance against her. Oh, how I wish I can be there to witness Sophie deal with him. It's been a long time since I last saw Sophie torment someone. It's a pleasure to watch Sophie torment others as long as I'm not the one getting tormented. Charles then suggested, why don't we go there and watch? We could at least give Mr. Hine a fright. I'm not going. Since Tristan already promised Sophie he wouldn't get involved, he would do his best to fulfill that promise. Are you sure you don't want to go? Let's go. For all we know, we didn't go there on purpose. We can pretend that it's just a coincidence. Charles tried to persuade his friend. Terence is notorious for his debauchery. How can we be at ease if we don't go and take a look? Fine. Let's go. In a famous Anglanderan restaurant in Jipsdale, Sophie and Victor had been waiting for quite some time. However, Terence still hadn't shown up. Sophie sipped on her glass of water calmly while Victor's expression turned darker by the minute. He was certain Terence was making them wait on purpose since they had agreed to meet up for dinner at 7 in the evening, and it was already 7:30. Terence was half an hour late. Why don't you head back first? Ms. Sophie. I can wait for him here. I'm sure Ms. Sophie has never been treated with such disrespect before. It's fine. I'm free anyway. I must meet up with him since he's such a nuisance. Sophie appeared composed. It has only been 30 minutes. I'm patient enough to wait. As they conversed, the infamous Terence finally showed up. Despite being dressed in a fitted suit, the smile on his face was smarmy. Terence immediately approached Victor upon spotting him. His assistant pulled out the chair for him, and before he sat down, he unbuttoned his suit. I apologize for the delay, Mr. White. The traffic was terrible today. You know how it is on a Friday. Traffic is horrible everywhere. How bothersome. Terence knew Victor would definitely wait for him since the project was important for Tanner Group. Hence, his tardiness was intentional. He had arrived on time but had been lingering outside the restaurant instead of stepping straight in. Though he had decided to sign the agreement, he wanted to gain more benefits for himself. After all, that was how all businessmen were. Profit was their main concern. It wasn't until he sat down that he noticed Sophie. His eyes lit up the moment he spotted her. I didn't expect Tanner Group to have such a pretty lady, Mr. White. She's prettier than most celebrities on TV. A few of Terence's ex-girlfriends all had the same influencer look. He used to think his ex-girlfriends were stunning, but the moment he laid eyes on Sophie, he finally knew the true meaning of astounding beauty. Victor's expression was grim when he heard Terence's remark. As he expected, Terence was a complete pervert. His fiery gaze was practically glued on Sophie, and the way he ogled at her was way too disgusting. Hi, you must be Mr. Hine. I've heard of you. I'm Sophie Tanner from Tanner Group. Sophie extended her hand for a handshake. Terence does live up to his name as an infamous pervert. Sophie. Wow, even your name is pretty. Have you heard about me? Am I really that famous? Yes, I've heard of you. Mr. Hine, do you have any questions regarding our project? We're here for dinner, so let's not talk about work. We shouldn't discuss business after working hours. The look in Terence's eyes was filled with lust, making others feel uncomfortable. I thought you have something urgent to settle, Ms. Sophie. You may head back now. I can take it from here. What are you doing, Mr. White? I'll sign the agreement tomorrow if Ms. Tanner stays to have dinner with me. Terence was, obviously, exceptionally lecherous, and he didn't bother to conceal it. Please tell me why you're still not signing the agreement, Mr. Hine. If there's an issue with our project, I'll have someone amend it. There's no issue with it. I would have signed it already if you were the one managing the collaboration at the very beginning. Terence didn't even try to hide his impure thoughts. In fact, he didn't think there was a problem with his behavior and felt proud of how blatantly lewd he was. Oh. In that case, did Mr. White do anything to offend you? Mr. White is capable, but sometimes he's a stick in the mud. You should take over the project, Ms. Sophie. I like collaborating with pretty ladies. Upon finishing his sentence, he reached out for Sophie's hand, trying to cop a feel. Sophie thought she was patient enough to endure Terence's disgusting advances for so long. The fact that he deliberately made things difficult for Victor was already annoying, and now he even tried to molest her. He's basically digging his own grave. Victor had wanted to defend Sophie, but before he could, Sophie grabbed Terence's wrist and twisted it. In response, Terence let out a painful squeal. What do you think you're doing, Ms. Tanner? Do you know what you're doing? Do you want me to sign the agreement or not? Since you think your current position doesn't suit you, you don't have to take up the position anymore. I trust many people are lining up to take your place in Maxwell Corporation. Terence's assistant instantly shot to his feet upon seeing that. What are you doing, Ms. Tanner? Release Mr. Hine in this instance. We have many in line waiting to collaborate with us. We won't be collaborating with you after what you've done. Is that so? Sophie didn't release her grip. I think you have a death wish for bullying my subordinate. Initially, Sophie intended to settle the issue diplomatically, but after witnessing Terence's behavior, she could imagine how much trouble Terence had caused her employee. With that, Sophie let Terence go and dialed the number of Maxwell Corporation's CEO. Hi, this is Sophie Tanner. Tanner Group's collaboration with Maxwell Corporation ends today. I think your company doesn't meet our standards. Is there a problem, Ms. Tanner? Didn't we already discuss all the details for the project? Connor Maxwell, Maxwell Corporation's CEO, didn't expect to hear that from Sophie. Tanner Group's recent project was a hot property. Even though Tanner Group wasn't particularly famous, they were quite capable. Many might not be aware of Sophie's true identity, but Connor was one of those who knew. Your employee has been giving my employee a hard time. Do you really take me as some gullible woman? What makes you think I would still want to collaborate with you after all the trouble your employee caused me? Sophie had always loved to keep a low profile, and that was why she assigned Victor to handle the project strictly by the book. However, it seemed like her decision was a mistake. Calm down, Ms. Tanner. I'll investigate the root of the problem and give you an explanation. Sure. Sophie ended the call after that. Terence's eyes widened with disbelief. How is that possible? Why do you have our CEO's number? Terence was stunned. You're only trying to scare me, aren't you? Victor, too, did not expect Sophie to know the CEO of Maxwell Corporation. He was pleased when he recalled how Terence used to bully him and treat him with derision. True enough, Sophie had always been unrivaled, and the way she handled things never disappointed him. Don't think everything will be fine just because you've made a phone call. Just you wait and see. I will make you suffer a fate that's far worse than death. There's no way Sophie knows Mr. Marwell. She would have mentioned it in the very beginning if she knows him. I'm sure she's just trying to scare me. Is that so? Mark my words. You'll soon lose your job. Ms. Sophie, what should we do with him? Asked Victor. That's none of our concern. Someone else will deal with him. Let's go somewhere else for dinner. It's my treat. Just let me know if you encounter more jerks like him that obstruct the development of the company in the future. I will deal with it. Sophie was determined to get rid of anyone who got in the way of Tanner Group. Sure, Ms. Sophie. Victor admired Sophie an awful lot. This young lady is indeed extremely powerful and capable. I wouldn't have pledged loyalty to her if she wasn't capable. After all, I'm still quite an ambitious person. As soon as the two of them stepped out of the restaurant, Connor, the CEO of Maxwell Corporation, showed up. When he saw that Sophie was leaving, he immediately came over and said apologetically, "Ms. Tanner, I'm so sorry. I have been very busy for the past few days and had no idea that my subordinates are so useless. Please rest assured that I will give you an explanation for this. Please reconsider collaborating with us. I despise Mr. Hine. Find someone else to replace him if you still wish to work with Tanner Group." "Sure, I will do that." Without saying another word, Sophie left with Victor. "Where is he?" Connor asked his secretary once Sophie left. "Mr. Hine is in there." Connor stepped into the restaurant immediately. Terence had just gotten back on his feet with help from his assistant. His wrist wouldn't stop shaking. "Mr. Hine, do you think it's true that Sophie knows Mr. Maxwell?" asked the assistant. "Ms. Tanner didn't seem like she was trying to scare us. There's nothing to be afraid of. Have you forgotten that Connor is my brother-in-law? He won't do anything to me even if she really knows him." Connor walked in just as he finished speaking. "Connor, I think Tanner Group's not worth collaborating with at all. There are so many companies dying to work with Maxwell Corporation, so let's find someone else." He had barely finished talking when Connor gave him a tight slap on his face. "Listen carefully, Terence Hine. Quit your job if you can't work for me and stop causing trouble. Do you know how important this collaboration is to me?" Terence was bewildered, for he did not expect to be slapped. "Connor, I'm just stating the facts. You have no idea how arrogant the CEO of Tanner Group is. Take a look at my hand. She's gone overboard and is practically disrespecting you." Livid, Connor gave Terence a kick in his stomach when he saw that the latter still had no idea what he had done wrong. "You useless piece of crap. You can forget about working for me. I will find someone to replace you." "Connor, how can you do that to me? You promised my sister to take good care of me." "Shut up. I don't want to hear another word from you. I will stitch your mouth shut if you dare make another sound." Connor then turned to Terence's assistant and said, "As for you, you are fired too. Don't bother coming to work tomorrow." Terence's assistant panicked at that instant. "Mr. Maxwell, this has nothing to do with me. I've told Mr. Hine many times to watch his attitude, but he refused to listen to me. There's nothing I can do." The fact that Terence was a lecherous man was well known in the industry, and there was nothing the assistant could do about it. "What's the point of hiring you since you can't do your job well?" Reluctant to waste his breath talking to Terence and his assistant, Connor left with his secretary. "Mr. Hine, what should we do now? I can't lose this job." Terence's assistant was really anxious. "Mr. Hine has his sister to back him up, but I have nobody." "Mr. Hine, you've promised that you will protect me as long as I follow you," he said nervously. Terence truly did not expect Sophie to know Connor. However, he was still not the least bit afraid, although things had come to this. "It's fine. This is not a big deal. I will have a talk with my sister. Surely she will help me out." "Mr. Hine, how about me? You. I myself am in deep trouble. How would I know what would happen to you?" uttered Terence grumpily. He had been enjoying a luxurious and carefree life in Jipsdale due to his position in the company. There was no way he could afford to lose this job. Victor and Sophie bumped into Tristan and Charles the moment they headed out. "What a coincidence. Are the two of you here for dinner too?" Sophie questioned with surprise. "Shouldn't he be at home right now?" "Yes. Charles has to meet up with a client here, so I tagged along," replied Tristan calmly, lying through his teeth. "I see. There's nothing special about this restaurant. I suggest you go somewhere else. How about you? Have you eaten yet? You should join us if you haven't eaten." "No, we haven't. I'm thinking of treating Victor to dinner. You're welcome to join us then. Mr. White, I hope you don't mind. Of course not. It's my honor to be able to have a meal with the two of you. Naturally, Victor knew how much Sophie meant to Tristan. Mr. Tristan would most probably be upset if I ate with Ms. Sophie alone. Let's go to another restaurant since Sophie doesn't like this one. After all, there were plenty of top-notch restaurants nearby. Sure. How's the deal with Mr. Hine? Asked Tristan casually as they made their way to another restaurant. I broke his hand. She had to teach Terence a lesson for bullying her subordinate to let him know the consequences of messing with her. Good. Next time, don't do it yourself. Let me know, and I will do it. Sophie was rendered speechless. Is that even necessary? The four of them went into a restaurant and sat down in a private room. Charles began to order food. Sophie, are these enough? We'll order these if there isn't anything else you want to add. Victor, do you want anything else? Feel free to order more. It'll be my treat. Sophie turned to Victor. She had been busy lately, so Victor had been the one dealing with the matters in Tanner Group. He was indeed a responsible and diligent man. Ms. Sophie, I'm happy to work for you. I believe that Tanner Group will achieve greater heights in the future. No matter how arduous the process might be, Victor firmly believed that the company would continue to prosper and thrive. Of course. Tanner Group will definitely achieve success with the help of you and the others, Sophie answered joyfully. The people supporting her were indeed dependable. Okay, you're flattering me. Oh, I heard Isabel and Georgina are going to be your bridesmaids, right? Count me in. Given their close relationship, there was no way Cecilia would miss the opportunity to be Sophie's bridesmaid. Of course. I've reserved a spot for you. As the best of friends, it was only natural for her and Cecilia to be each other's bridesmaids. Look at you. You're getting married soon while I'm all alone. Am I really that much of a failure? Why can't I meet my Prince Charming? Cecilia thought of herself to be a pretty good catch, but for some reason, she just hadn't met the right person for her. To make matters worse, she wasn't someone who would settle for less. Don't worry. You will meet the right person soon. Cecilia was an outstanding woman. She had never once lost herself even in the entertainment industry, which could be pretty toxic and complicated. She only focused on acting and rarely had scandals. Someone like her deserved all the happiness. Okay, we're leaving now that the movie is over. Do come over for the wedding photo shoot. Get plenty of rest for the time being, and I'll help you secure another major blockbuster film soon. You're the best, Sophie. I'll listen to all your arrangements, Cecilia said obediently. Okay. After ending the call, Sophie left with Tristan, hand in hand. The following day, Connor of Maxwell Corporation brought Terence over to apologize. Victor chuckled when he heard his secretary telling him about it. As expected, Ms. Sophie is capable of resolving any issue. Mr. White, should I let them in now? The secretary asked since she didn't know how Victor wanted to handle the issue. Bring them into my office. Since the CEO of Maxwell Corporation had paid them a visit in person, Victor felt that he needed to at least show the former some respect. Moreover, the collaboration was still on the table. Following Victor's instruction, the secretary brought Connor, Terence, and the other employees of Maxwell Corporation to Victor's office. I'm sorry, Mr. White. I've done a terrible job disciplining my subordinates, which caused you so much trouble. Today, I brought them here to apologize to you. I hope you can give us another chance. The collaboration with Tanner Group was essentially crucial to Maxwell Corporation. Thus, Connor saw the need to come in person to apologize. Don't say that, Mr. Maxwell. We must have done something that displeased Mr. Hine. Otherwise, why would he deliberately make things difficult for us? Terence never wanted to apologize in the first place, and Victor's words only served to annoy him further. He was about to say something in retort but was quickly silenced by Connor's glare. I'm sorry, Mr. White. I was wrong. Please forgive me. Terence had always been an arrogant man and had never behaved so humbly before. Our CEO called you personally yesterday, Mr. Maxwell. I'm sure you're well aware of what our CEO wants. Yes, Mr. White. Don't worry. I'll make sure he doesn't appear in front of you in the future. Also, I've brought the deputy CEO of our company to coordinate with you. This is the deputy CEO of our company. He is one of the most capable employers of Maxwell Corporation. You have nothing to worry about. Terence was initially arrogant and aggressive, but now that he was fired, he could no longer behave haughtily. The deputy CEO of Maxwell Corporation and Victor settled the rest of the issue. They then signed the contract on the spot without further ado. After Connor and the others left, Victor breathed a sigh of relief. At long last, this problem is resolved. Then, he immediately called Sophie to inform her of the good news. Don't worry, Ms. Sophie. We've signed the contract with Maxwell Corporation. They behaved pleasantly this time, and we had a good talk. Okay, I got it. I'll handle the rest. You don't have to worry anymore. Their recent project was a hot property to begin with. Many other companies besides Maxwell Corporation wanted to collaborate with them. Seeing how overjoyed Victor looked, the secretary poured him a cup of coffee. Mr. White, I have a feeling we'll be receiving a handsome bonus again this year. Ms. Sophie has always been generous, and now Tanner Group is prospering each day. Look at you. You're being greedy. No. I mean, look, the CEO of Maxwell Corporation even came in person after Ms. Sophie gets involved. I've heard people from Transfix Cosmetics mention that Ms. Sophie has led them to success, and I didn't believe them at first. But now, I believe what they say is true. Yeah, Ms. Sophie is indeed excellent at her job. We too have to do our best to make sure we don't drag her down. Meanwhile, it had been a few days since Sophie went to the medical association. However, she received a call from Isabel's assistant as soon as she arrived at the association. The assistant told Sophie that Isabel got injured during the filming for a variety show. Ms. Sophie, Isabel is badly injured. I'm at the hospital with her now. Please come and take a look. Everyone at TS Entertainment knew Isabel was close to Sophie. All right, I got it. I'll be there right away. Isabel immediately turned to head out after hanging up the phone. Arias, who was thinking of discussing a medical issue with her, saw her walking out and asked, "What's the matter? You've only just arrived. Why are you leaving so soon?" Isabel got hurt. I'm going to check on her now, Sophie explained while hurrying away. What happened to her? It hasn't even been long since Felix left, and she's already gotten herself injured. Sophie reached the hospital to see Isabel's leg already in a cast. There she was on the hospital bed, sulking. The assistant let out a sigh of relief after seeing Sophie. Ms. Sophie, I'll go and buy Isabel some food now. She hasn't eaten anything since this morning. What's wrong? How did you get hurt? Sophie walked over and sat next to the bed. I'm fine, Sophie. You don't have to worry about me. I'll take care of this myself, Isabel said, fuming. Are you saying this is not an accident? Sophie could tell what had happened from her reaction. Yes. Meanwhile, news of Isabel behaving haughtily started to spread on the internet. Some news articles even claimed that she had bullied Elena, the diva. Sophie's gaze turned grim instantly when she scrolled through the news. It was Xandra's decision to let Isabel participate in this music variety show. However, Sophie had been too occupied recently and had no time to pay attention to the show. I didn't expect Isabel to get bullied. I'm sorry, Isabel. I've neglected you recently, causing this to happen to you. Isabel didn't intend to make Sophie worry over this incident. Besides, such an incident was common in the entertainment industry. She believed she could handle it on her own. This isn't your fault, Sophie. There's no need to blame yourself. I can handle it just fine. I'm an adult now, so I can't just rely on others deal with such issues for me. After all, I must learn to fend for myself. Xandra came as well after receiving news of Isabel's injury. Never in her wildest dreams did she expect Isabel to be slandered. Their target was me. Xandra spoke as her gaze turned frosty. I can't believe they had the audacity to bully Isabel. Looks like they've grown a pair. Elena Miller was previously an artist managed by Xandra. Alas, they got into an unpleasant conflict later. As such, Elena must have bullied Isabel after knowing Xandra was her agent. Elena Miller. Sophie had heard of Elena's name before. Not only was the latter talented, but she also had a powerful and wealthy backer, leading her fans to give her the nickname Diva. Yes, Ms. Sophie. It's my fault for not dealing with it properly. I'll handle it. Since Elena has a death wish, I should grant it. Okay, go ahead. But she has a formidable backer. She even said she would get me blacklisted, Isabel said. Not many people could afford to mess with Isabel in Jipsdale, but she did not disclose her identity in the entertainment industry and kept a low profile. She didn't expect to be threatened. We'll deal with her backer too. This was a simple matter which did not require much contemplating. Just then, Isabel's assistant came in. This is bad, Ms. Sophie. Elena slandered Isabel for acting arrogantly. The fans have now gotten into a fight online. The assistant had been scrolling through the news on her phone while she was out buying food for Isabel. She had been with Isabel for the past few days and knew Isabel had been patient. In order to not cause trouble for TS Entertainment, she had been enduring the poor treatment in silence. However, Elena and company had crossed the line. Xandra's face clouded over after she saw the news. Don't worry. I'll settle this. Elena's fans have basically gone crazy right now. They will attack whoever goes against them. Let me handle this, Xandra. Sophie was aware that Xandra and Elena's backer used to have a complicated relationship. Xandra quit being Elena's agent back then because she was heartbroken, so Sophie thought it wouldn't be appropriate to let Xandra deal with Elena. I'm fine, Ms. Sophie. It's all in the past now. I'll handle things the way I should. There won't be a problem. Are you sure? Yes. It's time I lay to rest the ghost of my past. Okay. I'll give you 1 day to deal with it. I'll take over if you can't handle it by then. I can't believe these people. Do they think we're pushovers? Meanwhile, Elena's secretary was ecstatic after she saw the trending search on the internet. Don't worry, Ms. Miller. I'm sure Xandra will come looking for you. You are now a popular celebrity while she is just a nobody. Elena listened to all that while applying a facial mask. Have you dealt with those people on the production team? I can't stand Isabel Lombard. Elena was currently famous, so it was a piece of cake for her to wipe out the people she disliked. The production team knows who's the star of the show. I'm sure they will watch what they say. Very well. I only taught her a small lesson this time around. It wouldn't be so simple if she offended me again. Mr. Perez is here, Ms. Miller. Elena immediately stood up after she was informed of Lucas Perez's arrival. Why are you here, Mr. Perez? I thought you were busy recently. Why do you have time to come visit me? Elena acted coyly in front of Lucas. She was madly in love with the man and had fallen head over heels for him at first sight. She approached Lucas, attempting to rub up against him with her plump breasts, but he ended up shoving her aside. Just focus on singing and don't go causing trouble. I dislike troublesome artists. Lucas clearly came after finding out about today's trending news. I've behaved myself all this while, Mr. Perez. Don't you know that? They were the ones who tried to pick on me. Elena teared up immediately after hearing that. Someone as good at acting as her should have been an actress instead of a singer. Mr. Perez, do you still have feelings for Xandra? The name Xandra had always been a thorn in Elena's flesh which she couldn't get rid of. It had been ages since Lucas heard of the name Xandra. Elena was displeased when she saw Lucas' expression. What's so special about Xandra that makes him care about her that much? Don't disturb her, Elena. Focus on what you should do. With that, Lucas turned to leave. Hearing that, Elena clenched her fists tightly in fury. What's the meaning of this? I can't even mention her name now? Why did he choose me back then if the matters so much to him? Elena's assistant poured Elena a glass of water after observing how upset she looked. Calm down, Ms. Miller. You're the one who's by Mr. Perez's side now, and not Xandra. Elena merely sneered in response. Right then, her assistant's phone rang. Hello, I'm Elena's manager. Can I help you? I'm Xandra Yandel. Elena knew that Xandra would definitely come looking for her, but she didn't expect the latter to act so fast. She took a few deep breaths upon arriving at the place they agreed to meet. Elena beamed brightly when she saw Xandra. It's been a while, Xandra. Why are you working for TS Entertainment? That small company is not worthy of you. Xandra was the best crisis manager in the entertainment industry and was capable of handling any kind of crisis that the artists encountered. After taking a sip of coffee, Xandra said mockingly, Elena, you should have behaved yourself as Lucas' pet. Elena's smile froze when she heard the word, pet. What do you mean, Xandra? Lucas loves me. Our love for each other is genuine. Elena hated to hear people imply that Lucas was her sugar daddy. I don't care what's going on between you and Lucas, but I advise you to be nice. Isabel is not someone you can afford to mess with. Ha! She's just a nobody. I can wipe her out effortlessly. Elena said fearlessly and continued, as long as Lucas is on my side, nobody can lay a finger on me. Is that so? You'd better stop buying headlines, or I'll make you fall to your doom miserably. Who cares about Lucas? Do you really think he dares to harm me? Don't tell me you think Lucas likes you, Xandra. Dream on. Why would he let you go if he does like you? I've never said he likes me. He loves nobody but himself. Then, Xandra got up and left the cafe. As she walked, she surfed the internet and saw people criticizing Isabel. Damn you, Elena Miller. You're such a jerk. As soon as she walked out, she saw Lucas standing next to his car. She didn't expect to see Lucas here at all. He must be here to pick Elena up. What a joke. However, her passenger door was pulled open after she got into her car. Lucas got into her car and sat in the passenger seat. What do you want? Xandra instantly frowned at his action.
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.